Studio Blue. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to do a 30-minute ab class. If something doesn't feel good for your body, I don't want you to do it. Always listen to what your body's telling you. I'm going to offer a lot of modifications. So let's get started. We're going to start on our back, knees bent, feet flat, heels in line with your sits bones, and we're going to do the hardest part first, breathing and clearing our mind. So first, just close your eyes, one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, and just take a big inhale and a big exhale. And just kind of see which hand is moving more. If you're breathing into your heart hand, see if you can expand a little bit more into your belly hand. And if you're only breathing into your belly, allow your heart hand to expand a little bit. As we breathe, we're also trying to bring our breath into the sides and backs of our ribs, allowing them to expand like an accordion. If you begin to feel tension in your hips here, you're welcome to bring your feet out to the side and allow your knees to touch. We have 2 more breaths. And last one. On your next exhale, gently draw your hip bones towards each other, thinking about sinking your belly button down towards the floor and softening your ribs towards your belly button. And then inhale into the sides and backs of your ribs. Exhale, draw everything gently together without gripping. And just notice if you're bringing tension into your back or hips. If you are, engage a little less. On your next exhale, we're going to rock our pelvis into a little posterior tilt. So inhale wide. Exhale, draw everything together and allow your hip bones to just gently be drawn towards your face, allowing your lower back to melt to the ground. And then inhale, rock your pelvis back to center. Let's do 3 more. Exhale, draw everything in. Allow your lower back to soften and relax. Allow that length to happen from your knees to your hip bones. 2 more. If you envision your pelvis like a plate with a marble in the center, we want to roll the marble towards your face and then just back to center. You don't have to roll it towards the other end of the plate. Last one, and hold. As you hold, we're going to deepen your imprint. So just gently peel your spine up a little and see if your abs engaged a little bit more. And then sink your belly button down more. Start to peel your spine up, one bone at a time, coming into a little bridge. Now just check in at the top. If you're kind of breaking at the hips or you're thrusting your ribs forward, tuck your tailbone gently. Allow some glute activation to lift you up and soften your ribs down and your sternum away from your face. One big breath here. And then exhale, melt through your throat, melt through your breastbone, melt through your ribs, your low back, your sacrum, and eventually let your cheeks spread and be wide. Couple more. Notice as you peel that you might start feeling a little bit more freedom, hopefully, in your back and your hips, allowing your pubic bone to be higher than your hip bones, but without forcing your lumbar spine up. Give me 2 more. Hollowing out through the front of your body, allowing your knees to pull away from you, heels to drag gently towards you, melting from your sternum, hollowing out through your throat as well as your abdominals. And last one. Remember, we all move a little differently, and that's okay. If you're feeling any knee tension, feel free to widen your stance a little bit. Once you've made it all the way down, find your neutral pelvis. Hands are going to come behind your head. Interlace them so they create a hammock shape for your head. Elbows just gently in your periphery. Nod your chin. Inhale. Exhale, sink your ribs down and look towards your knees. And then lengthen all the way back down. Inhale. Exhale, sink your ribs, sink your belly button, and look toward your knees. And back down. Last one. And hold. Good. Now reach your fingertips a little bit forward, and imagine me coming and pulling you up. Good. Now hold that. Start to bring your fingertips up towards the sky, interlace them behind your head, and lengthen all the way down, trying to keep that nice abdominal connection. Give me just a couple more like this. Sinking everything down to the floor, relieving from our ribs and not our neck. Bring your fingertips forward. Allow me to pull you up, still looking at your knees. Bring your hands up, try to maintain that height. Interlace and down. And last one like this. Sinking from the ribs, allowing the breastbone to glide forward. Hands come forward, just curl a little bit more without getting into your hips or back. Interlace your hands and hold. Bring your feet closer to you, lift your heels. Now, if you wind up doing 90s hip hop dance moves, I need you to think about maintaining a little imprint. You're gonna inhale and exhale, flex your feet without moving the knees. And if you need to, tap a toe down. I'm gonna tap them both down. Inhale, exhale. Just notice that that extra weight of where your feet are encourages your lower abs to work a little harder. Last one, and then reach them just a little bit away. Float one leg up to tabletop. Inhale, exhale, switch your legs mid-air, pushing past each other. Envision you have a little egg in your knee pit. You don't want to drop it. You're just reaching the knee away, lengthening through the front of the thigh. And keep that curl if you can. If you need to, head down, no problem. If you're like me and you tend to internally rotate, you can always bring your palms to the sky to allow that width through your collarbones. We have two more. And now we rotate. Are you ready? Rotate so your armpit wants to face the inner part of your knee. Trying to maintain a stable pelvis, which is easier said than done, right? So you can think about your sternum trying to point towards the outside of your knee. And we're trying not to bend laterally like a little bendy straw. We want to keep the side of our straw nice and straight. Two more here. And the last one, bring both knees in, hug them towards your chest. Now allow the thighs to relax in the socket. You're going to push one foot away from you, and then bring it in. Allow the other leg to relax. Push the other foot away. So if you envision the thigh being suction cupped into the ribs, that's where you're trying to initiate that stabilization. If this is where you are, great. Otherwise, we're going to come into a chest lift. Press down into your knees from your lats, press up into your hands from your glutes and hamstrings, and we push one foot away. Inhale, exhale, switch. Try to think about pushing your feet away from you, creating tension through your own body. As if there's a big couch and you just want to push it gently across the room, right? Or your friend is over there and you just want to tap them with your foot. Now when you're ready, we're going to bring our hands behind our head and add rotation, okay? Find that interlacing, and now we rotate. Once again, you don't need to over-rotate. Inhale, exhale, slowly rotate. Now as you get tired, you might notice your shoulders wanting to sink, your ribs wanting to pop. Think about the leg going away from you, creating a little bit of a lift through your chest. We have a couple more here. Good. 2. Last one. come back to center, hug your knees in towards your chest. Now slide one foot out long. Hands are gonna come behind your thigh. Lift your chest, and now imprint your spine gently, using the back of your thigh to help leverage you up. Good, it's nice and smooth, right? Let's go ahead and roll back down. Now, if you have restriction through your back, it's okay to get a towel or a little gardening pad and put it behind your back. Sometimes, I'm just a little tight in my hips, and that's when I need it. So just listen to your body. I'd rather you use abdominal control rather than flinging. Last one, we're gonna switch legs. So just slide that one in. This one's gonna feel different. So just sink your ribs down. Oh, real different, right? And then curl, allowing the foot that's extended to just gently make contact with the floor. If you think about curling over your ribs to initiate and then imprinting, it'll help you get that deeper abdominal connection. Good. And now we're gonna try it with both feet on the ground. So reach forward, envision somebody you love giving you a hug, and you're enjoying their warm embrace. And now you roll back, rolling your pelvis like a wheel until you maintain contact. Now inhale, exhale, reach your hands forward, rolling up. If you have tightness in your low back, feel free to widen your feet some or use the pad, right? Inhale, and then exhale, reach your hands forward. Good, last one like this. Rolling it down. Try not to bring excess tension into your neck. We curl and bring it up. Good, feet on the floor, hands behind your thighs, shoulders relaxing down your back. Now just curl back, think about your hip bones dialing back, and we're just going to roll until our arms are straight. Now, if this doesn't feel good in your back, don't do it, okay? Think about a hook being below your belly button, drawing in and up, and then feel free to let go with your hands. And then set your shoulders. This is already a lot of work, right? Now without moving, we're just gonna take one arm out to the side. That's it. And then back. And then other side. So we're doing a little counter rotation work, which a lot of times is even harder than rotation work. But it's the same muscles, we're just addressing our other function. And then out, and then scoop the arms together, and then out, and now we're gonna add rotation. So start without rotating, and then add it. The arm you're rotating away from is going to reach forward, and then bring it back. No rotation, hold. Add the rotation, and then back. Couple more. You might be able to see, I'm trembling, this is hard. And then out and back, out to the side. Once again, check in with your deep abdominals. They should be supporting your spine. And back, last one. Out, rotate, come back, out to the side, rotate, come back, shoulders set, curl your tailbone towards your face. Using that, we're gonna roll back an inch. That's it, hold. Fold over your ribs, hold. Just a few more like this, little curl lengthening through the front of your thighs. Pull your belly button back to come back up. 3 more, 3. You can also think about your heels gently dragging towards you to try to activate your hamstrings more than your hip flexors. But should your hip flexors be working? Yeah, but they're not the only things that should be working. We should be feeling our abdominals more than the hip flexors, hopefully. Curl and fold, and then cross your legs. Get a gentle little stretch over them, and then we're coming onto all fours. So come onto all fours, find that lift of your belly button, slide one foot out long, reach the other arm away, and back. Just finding your setup. So slide and then reach. One more. And if this is where you are today, that's fine. Otherwise, we're coming into a plank. So we're gonna slide one foot out, making sure that you're not overly protracting your shoulders. Hug your abs up, other foot comes out. Instead of thinking of one long line, think of two lines. One from the crown of your head to your hips, one from your hips to your legs. Now allow one leg to fold underneath you, and then reach it back through your heel. Other side, fold and reach. If you notice that your whole spine is responding, come down and reset, no problem. And fold, and back, two. Last one. Go ahead and come down onto your knees. Rotate onto one side, extending that top leg. Now press away from your hand to engage that serratus, that lat, and that oblique. Your opposite arm can come overhead, and then back. And then we lift. Now if you're like, that's great, I'd like more. Bring your knee out. You can sink your hips down, and then lift. And then down, trying not to sink into here. We're not doing slumber party shoulders. Shoulders are engaged. We're allowing the hip to move. And of course, if you'd like more, come into your full plank. But if you don't have the shoulder stability for it, don't move through it, just hold. One more like this. And then guess what? Other side. I knew you'd know. So go ahead, come on up. We're just gonna send that foot out, come back, and start with a reach and back. And a little lift. Once again, pressing away from that arm, bringing up through that serratus. If you want more, take the knee and hand away from each other. Drop that hip down. Lift it up, and then down. Lift it up. Don't be afraid to use that bottom glute or that top inner thigh. They're there to help you, right? And then we can always take it into full plank. If for some reason it doesn't feel good, don't do it. We have 3 more. 2. Are you ready for that last one? Yes. Hold. Come into your plank position, knees down. Go ahead and slowly come into a push-up. We're doing a little back extension. So first, bring your hands below your forehead, shoulder blades down. Still hug your abs up and in, so your pubic bone is at least just as heavy as your hip bones. Shoulder blades draw down your back and look forward. This is how we start. And then come back down. Shoulder blades draw down, still hug your abs up and in, and lift. It doesn't have to be a big lift, we're just trying to get a little upper back extension. If you have a delicate low back, take your feet away from each other, allow them to gently externally rotate. 2 more like this. Last one. While you're up, slide one hand at a time away from you. Shoulder blades draw down your back. Good. Now, you can do this with your head up or down. We're just going to do thumbs up, 7 up. Squeeze one glute, opposite arm lifts. And back. Other side. If you feel a big rocking sensation like you're on a boat, widen your feet, keep it smaller. You can think about reaching the hand and foot away from each other as opposed to up at the sky, right? It's more of a push and a push. If you want to speed it up, of course you can. You inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now you might notice as I speed it up, I start swaying. So I'm going to bring it back down because that's how I'm a little bit more stable. We have just a couple more. Last one, each side. And we're going to press ourselves into a rest position. So if it feels okay for you to be in a full child's pose, great. If it doesn't, feel free to keep your hips elevated. It's fine. We're just going to do a couple little breaths into our back. And exhale. And one more. And then take your hands up and over to the right. Let your left fingertips reach even farther. Grab that hand. And honestly, if you go to the right or the left, it's fine. We're gonna do both sides. Just let yourself kind of sink away from your hand. And then we go to the other side. Allowing the whole side of your body to stretch from that lat, that QL. Come back to center. We're gonna do a couple little cat-cows, right? So just think about setting your shoulders, pull your belly button up through your spine, allowing your tailbone to gently shine down. And then try to let your spine undulate up. So we're not just immediately going into a Halloween cat, just a little undulation. And then widen through your sits bones, start going the opposite direction until your head follows. We're trying to find a little bit of segmental movement. But if you have to do it in chunks, that's okay too. And last one. And then have your head and tail come to the right. Big stretch that way. And left. And back and forth. And then we take one hand, place it on your shoulder. Allow it to dive down, getting a little bit of rotation. And then rotate back. You can rotate open a little bit if that feels good. If this is too much or you feel it in your neck, don't go as far. And then back down. And open. Two more. And if you notice that your pec on the side that you're kind of having your hand over is overworking, see if you can encourage it to soften. It doesn't need to do all that work. And then we get to do the other side. I feel like I'm saying the Pledge of Allegiance. And we rotate. And down. And rotate. And two. And one. One more for good measure. And come back to center. All right, we're now just gonna slide a foot out, shoulders come down, hug your abs up, and squeeze that glute to get it elevated. Now, if you tend to try to go for the gold, rein it in a little. We wanna hug those abs up. It's the abs, it's the glutes. And we're just gonna do tiny little circles, right? And part of what we're doing is trying to get that glute max fired up. And part of what we're doing is trying to find our intrinsic core stabilizers. You don't have to memorize them. There's not going to be a test, okay? If you want more excitement, reach the opposite arm away from you. If you don't need that much excitement in your life, bring it back down. And we reverse the circles. We have 5, and 4, and 3, 2, and other side. Now, as we do this, even though it's our goal to keep a nice flat back as if we were about to serve some tea, and that's our tray, sometimes it happens that we start to shift. If that happens, reset, come back to center, it's okay. Of course, you can reach that opposite arm away from you. Still envision kind of pushing away as opposed to reaching up. We have 3, and 2. Last one, and then other side. And then we have one of my favorite planks. We're gonna play a little game. Are you guys ready? It's called red light, green light. And then bring it in. Okay, it's gonna be a side plank. Feel free to be on your forearms. We're gonna go from center, side, center, other side. All right? I'm just going to go to one side for all of our comfort. So lengthen through the crown of your head, press your elbows in, pull your belly button up through your spine. Widen your feet just a little bit. Now slowly, try to keep your shoulders and hips rotated in one piece. Of course you can bring your arm up to the sky, but if it starts to rotate back, it's gonna pull you. So don't go that far. And then slowly come back to center. You guys go to the other direction. And of course, if you want, you can always have a knee down. It's fine. 2 more. Using the bottom glute, top inner thigh, obliques to help you. And rotate down. Now we're gonna do this like we're driving along a road with a lot of red lights, okay? So inhale, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light. Don't run any red lights. We get to do the other side. Lift it on up. Inhale, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, and knees down. Press yourselves into a gentle rest position. If you are on your hands, please wiggle them out. If you're on your forearms, feel free to reach your hands even farther. Try to get a stretch through your armpit muscles. Okay. Now just gently slide your elbows back to your knees. Think about your belly button being on your thighs. Shoulder blades draw down your back. Lift your ears a little and start to straighten your arms just enough that you feel your shoulder blade muscles start to kick on. And then lift your heart and start to straighten your arms a little more. And then you can fold forward. Good. Again, shoulder blades down, shine your heart forward. It's not just a metaphor. And draw it forward and then down. Couple more here. Think about the bottom tips of the shoulder blades starting to just gently draw down to the opposite pockets. And back down. Last one. So find where you can comfortably maintain and reach an arm up, shoulder blade drawing down, and then reach the arm out to the side, and back, and down. And last one, reach it up, and out, and back, and down, and come into your final child's pose. Take your hands up and over to one side again, allowing your whole body to relax. Just breathe very deeply into your back, into your sides, trying to allow your neck and shoulders to relax. And then other side. Hand on the wrist, reach it back, and breathe. So often when we get stressed out or busy, we forget to breathe. And so for our last few seconds, we're coming back into this position. Your forehead can be on your hands. And I just want you to feel your body expanding gently and freely with your breath. And notice if your breath feels different at the end than it did at the beginning. Just kind of come back into your body, filling your whole self with oxygen. Think of almost an ocean wave coming in and blowing out. Breathing in relaxation and blowing out stress. Just 2 more breaths. Last one. And you can come up when you're ready. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your day.